All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever tried to explain something that's, well, basically indescribable? That's the challenge we're tackling today. We're going to dive into some ancient texts that try to paint a picture of an eternal state, a reality that's just so far beyond our day-to-day experience. So, let's get into it.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is a journey right into the heart of a mystery. When the biblical writers tried to talk about what comes at the very end and lasts forever, they were pushing language to its absolute breaking point. So how on earth did they do it? What kinds of words, what kinds of images did they pull out of their toolkit to give us even a tiny glimpse?
And this verse, man, it just nails the problem. The Apostle Paul gets right to the heart of it here. He's basically saying, look, what I'm talking about is on a completely different frequency. It's not just a spoiler for a movie we haven't seen yet, it's something our minds, our hearts, our senses can't even begin to process. This quote really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore. Okay, so if you're going to try and describe a whole new reality, where do you even begin? Well, these ancient texts start close to home. They start with us, the individual. The very first piece of the puzzle is this radical idea of transformation, what happens to our physical bodies as we go from a natural state to a spiritual one. And wow, check out this contrast. It's like night and day. On one side, you've got our current reality, the natural body. It decays, it faces dishonor, it's defined by weakness. But then, look at the other side, the promise of the spiritual body. It's a total flip of the script. Incorruptibility instead of corruption, glory instead of dishonor, power instead of weakness. We're not just talking about a software update here. This is a whole new operating system. It's a complete redefinition of what a body even is. Now, I know this all sounds super abstract, right? So Paul brings it right down to earth with a simple, beautiful analogy: a seed. Think about it. You plant this tiny, bare kernel in the ground. It has to be buried, it has to essentially die for anything new to happen. And what comes up? It's not the seed anymore. It's this complex, glorious living thing, a plant. That's the model he's using for resurrection. One form gives way to something completely new and transformed.
So the big takeaway here is that this final form, this glorious body, isn't some kind of ghost. It's described as physical, as material. But, and this is a huge but, it's no longer tied down by the laws of our earthly existence. The blueprint for this is the body Christ is said to have had after his resurrection, something that was tangible, that you could touch, but was also completely transcendent.
Okay, so we've got the new you, but where does this new you live? Now the vision zooms out. It gets bigger. It moves from the person to the place they'll inhabit. Because this isn't just about a new kind of body. It's about a new kind of home, a restored world that's often called the New Eden. Now, to really get what New Eden means, we first have to understand this idea of sacred space. All through the biblical narrative, you find these special places where heaven and earth kind of overlap, where God dwells with his family. It started with the Garden of Eden, then you see it symbolized in the Ark of the Covenant, and of course, the temple. Well, this eternal state is pictured as the ultimate fulfillment of that idea, but on a global scale. And the book of Revelation just floods us with these incredible symbols to describe what it's like to live there. You get access to the tree of life, hello, Eden callback, which is all about eternal life. You receive hidden manna, the food of angels, a symbol of perfect divine provision. You get a white stone, which is kind of like an all-access pass, a sign that you're acquitted, that you belong. And becoming a pillar in the temple, that means you're a permanent foundational part of God's home. But you know, all those things ultimately point to something even bigger. The greatest promise isn't just the cool rewards or the amazing place, it's the restored relationship. When you hear language like heritage, inheritance, and son, it's telling you you're not just a guest in this new world. No, you're family. You're a co-ruler, sharing in this restored creation. So what's life actually like in this restored world? The texts describe it pretty simply. It's a fundamental reversal of everything that's gone wrong. It's about undoing all the curses of our current existence. This one single line from Revelation is one of the most powerful promises you can find. No longer will there be anything accursed. Now that word curse is packing a lot. It means all the fallout from humanity's separation from God back in Eden, the toil, the pain, the sickness, death itself. And this promise, it means the complete and total erasure of all of that. Everything that defines our struggle and suffering is just gone. And this isn't just a New Testament idea. The Old Testament prophets echoed the same vision. They painted these incredible pictures of a world where sickness and disability are a thing of the past, a world with a supernatural abundance of food, and where peace isn't just between people, but throughout all of creation. It's the world brought back to its ideal state of health, harmony, and plenty. And that brings us to what might be the most startling, most mind-bending piece of this whole vision. It's the ultimate resolution, the final word on what this new existence is all about. This verse is just stunning. And the sea was no more. Now, to our modern ears, that might sound a little, sad, right? We think of beaches and oceans, but you have to put on your ancient world glasses for this one. To the people listening to this back then, this was an incredibly powerful statement of hope. You see, in the ancient world, the sea was chaos embodied. It was unpredictable, untamable, a source of absolute dread and destruction. It was a symbol for everything that could hurt you, everything that could kill you. From the chaotic deep in Genesis 1 to the beast that rises from the sea in Revelation, it was the ultimate symbol of disorder. So, for the sea to be no more isn't about getting rid of water. It means the end of chaos. It means a state of perfect divine order. It's the final permanent victory over everything that is unpredictable, harmful, and destructive. It is the beginning of a state of absolute, unshakable calm forever. And that brings us full circle. This whole vision is a perfect bookend to the very beginning of the biblical story. Everything that was lost in the first Eden is not only restored, but it's made permanent and irreversible in the last. So the question I'll leave you with is this. If this vision of perfect order and restored relationship is the final chapter, how does that change the way you read the first? And what does it mean for that whole long story in between?